Doug, can you kind of start by telling people why Snowflake is such a valuable asset in general here?
I think over the last decade, we've heard so much about this trend toward big data. And the next evolution, in our opinion, of big data is really big data management, because the point of big data is to create intelligent software. It's to create incredible experiences for users. And it's really the precursor to AI. And what Snowflake does, I think why people are really excited about it thematically, is it is sort of that bridge, in our opinion, from big data to more intelligent software. They help companies essentially architect their data more intelligently in the cloud.
So we were joking about Hadoop a second ago, but I mean, who are the rivals in this space? How much of a lead does Snowflake have? How much of a moat does it have, to use the Berkshire language?
Mm-hmm. So I think really, when I think about their competition, some of their biggest competition are actually the companies they work with, the cloud providers themselves, AWS, Google, Microsoft with Azure. Those are the ones that I would be most focused on. Certainly there's other ones in the market like a Hadoop. There's other companies that are sort of, I'd say, in the same game, in the same league, companies like Databricks, which is a private company still. But I do think that if I were an investor in Snowflake, I would be focused more on those big cloud providers, trying to expand their capabilities and sort of shutting Snowflake out of the market.
As we know, Amazon loves to go down the balance sheet and turn every cost center into a new revenue item. So Snowflake would appear to be a candidate for that. What's its valuation right now, Doug? At about $245 this morning, right about its IPO price. What are we talking about in terms of the multiple on revenue? And does it generate earnings?
It doesn't generate earnings yet. I think in our rough estimate, it's somewhere around 70 times next year's revenue. So as Leslie said, that would make it, even at the time of the IPO, I think it was one of the most expensive software companies in the market. And now I think it is far and away one of the most expensive companies in the software market. We are cautious here. The valuation, I think, is rich. And I think when you see these names, there's often this very restricted float in an IPO. So these price moves sometimes can be exaggerated because there's not enough sellers to really meet the demand in the market. And so over the next 6 to 12 months, I think we're going to see more volatility in the name. And I think long-term investors might get another chance at a more attractive valuation.
So, Doug, I read a quote that someone said that the pandemic accelerated this cloud adoption or the cloud migration by 10 years. And we're hearing everything. The pandemic, stay at home. It's accelerated everything. Is that true? And why? Do you agree with that?
10 years feels aggressive to me. I would believe it if it was maybe a year or two. I think we've certainly seen this acceleration in terms of productivity software to help people work at home. Much of that software is managed in the cloud. But when I think about the bigger opportunity in the cloud, it's moving everything, even things beyond this sort of work at home trend into the cloud. So I think it's maybe more like a year or two it's been accelerated. That doesn't mean that the trend isn't real. I think it's still a real long-term trend. Cloud computing is here to stay, but I don't think it's been accelerated that quickly.